is on the grass. The lunatic.
Obama was supposed to sign the UN Arms Trade Treaty earlier this week, but he's been ducking for cover and hiding in the shadows on this one right now due to the staunch opposition being raised by the people over this issue. Are they waiting for the smoke to clear? Not necessarily. While the false flag shooting staged in Aurora, Colorado couldn't have been timed better, occurring only a week before the UN Arms Trade Treaty was to be signed, it's had the opposite effect the government had intended. Gun sales spiked 41%, according to the Denver Post, during the week after this incident. The Aurora massacre was a tragedy, made even worse by the distinct possibility that these victims lost their lives through democide, death by government, not by a random act of violence. You have to keep in mind, a government that would illegally ship guns to Mexico, where, by the way, gun ownership by the citizenry is against the law, in order to restrict, then eliminate the American people's Second Amendment rights, an operation that resulted in the deaths of tens of thousands of people, would have no problem staging the massacre of a dozen people here to push forward an agenda. Now, this is what you need to know. We're being misdirected, as we're still focused on any breaking news regarding the United Nations Arms Trade Treaty. While we're all being misdirected during the Olympic Games, the Senate is quietly and sneakily pushing through S. 3414, the Cybersecurity Act, which contains a ban on firearm magazines that hold over 10 rounds of ammo. That's right, Senator Chuck Schumer from New York introduced an amendment, I believe it was on Monday the 30th, banning these magazines. It is noted as SA 2575. As of right now, they are looking to cloture this bill and rush it to the floor for a vote. And I'll provide in the description of this video a link where you can contact your congressman in the description box. Tell them no to S. 3414. Now, the National Association for Gun Rights reports that Democrat anti-gunners could force a magazine ban vote on the floor of the U.S. Senate as early as today, Monday, July 30th, which I don't think has happened yet. They're attempting to ban magazines used commonly for self-defense and sport shooting by burying an amendment deep inside the Cybersecurity Act, and that's that act I mentioned, S. 3414. The National Gun Association for Gun Rights recommends that concerned gun owners contact their U.S. senators and ask them to oppose S. 3414. People, you need to understand that this is a ludicrous attempt to incrementally ban all firearms in the U.S. and strip us of our Second Amendment right. This provision in the Constitution was not put there for hunting and sport shooting like Chuck Schumer, Dianne Feinstein, Barbara Boxer would have you believe. It was put there so that we, the people, hold the power to remove, by force if necessary, a government that no longer represents the will of the people. I'd just like to read you a segment here of what the Second Amendment was actually put there for. And right here it says, what the founders had in mind is quite clear. There is no doubt about what they were thinking. The following quotation makes this abundantly clear. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, and Alexander Hamilton all clearly expressed their reasons for establishing the Second Amendment. And here are some of the things they had to say on the subject. Washington stated, firearms stand next in importance to the Constitution itself. They are the American people's teeth and keystone under independence. Jefferson had similar thoughts, stating, and what country can preserve its liberties if its rulers are not warned from time to time that this people preserves the spirit of resistance? Let them take arms, Hamilton said. If the representatives of the people betray their constituents, there is no resource left but in the exertion of the original right of self-defense, which is paramount to all forms of positive government. James Madison in the Federalist, paper number 46, predicted that encroachments by the federal government would provoke plans of resistance and an appeal to the trial of force. You have to ask yourself, does this government really think that we are dumb enough to believe that banning magazines will have any effect on violent crime? It's been statistically proven in countries all around the world where firearms have been banned, restricted, or completely taken away from the citizenry, that violent crime skyrocketed. Look at Australia. When they had the firearms ban in Australia, and the government and the police and the military actually went around knocking door to door, and for those people who would not voluntarily turn in their firearms, seized all firearms in Australia, and violent crime has gone up exponentially. Same as in Canada, Venezuela, and all other countries where firearms have been banned by the government from the people. I mean, they actually think that we believe that 10-round clips will make a much safer society than 15-round clips. I mean, this stance is just as ridiculous as Bloomberg's control freak philosophy banning 32-ounce sodas. Make no mistake, they are determined to disarm us. S-3414 is a backdoor sidestep towards their agenda. You know, I never thought I'd say this, but Obama got it right. He stated Friday, as quoted by the Daily Telegraph, and I'm paraphrasing here, certain guns, like semi-automatic rifles, belong on the battlefield, not in the hands of the citizens on our streets. Well, on December 31st, 2011, with the signing of the NDAA, Obama declared Battlefield America. Lock and load, America. Are you still sleeping? Are you awake yet?